Well. Them boys at Amazon must have finally listened to all the hate. This is exactly what we wanted. We finally got exactly what we needed from this series. They just knew they needed to do something drastic if they wanted to keep the fan base, and do the comics justice. They can go into so many paths and they're keeping their options open. Well, in part 2, episode 5, we are hit with some challenges. We get to see Mark. He finally gets back to Earth and he's got a new little sidekick, his little brother Oliver. This man Mark cannot catch a break. At least we have a time frame finally. He's been gone from Earth for 2 months. We understand that he finally lived his Bugs life, and in that world where Nolan took over and repopulated, they have a very fast lifespan. They don't age as fast as us humans. They age a lot faster. And as a byproduct, his little brother is going to age quicker than him. So that being said, his mom is going to die before the baby, aka Oliver, is even 10 years old. This comes as a shock to us, and inevitably, the show continues to show another problem, and they add that to Mark's plate. In part 2, these episodes are such bangers, I decided we're going to get a 2-for-1 special. We're going to do episode 5 and 6 together. With that being said, it's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but you already know the vibes. We got a lot to catch up on, so let's hop straight into it. So, yeah, Mark has a little brother. Mark, he's constantly getting beat up. He just saw his dad. He's learning he's got a little brother. This man can't catch a break. He's also made Earth's protector / ruler and much more, such as an alcoholic mom, Debbie, sad girlfriend, and he's a college student, or at least he thinks he is. He continues to try to live 2 lives. He wants to be a kid, but is doing all the wrong things. He's also trying to right the wrongs of his dad, and he wants to be a quote-unquote good superhero. So, as he returns, he is, of course, confronted by Cecil. He's only been on Earth for like 30 minutes, and Cecil pops up, and he's talking to Mark reckless. Now, on the flip side, Cecil does have a point. He recommended that Mark did not go to space, but he did. Cecil also tells him over and over again he is acting like he's his dad, and he is. He feels that Mark doesn't trust him, which he doesn't. And on top of all that, he continues to pressure Mark. He insists on giving him the cold shoulder. Mark is going to have that knee-jerk reaction. And with his little brother in town, he is definitely not going to trust Cecil. Now, with the history between Nolan, the Viltrumites, the agency, and now Mark, we know it's going to cause a divide, and it's going to cause all types of issue for Oliver. We learn about one of the most scapegoaty, worthless information in regards to this imposter alien as well. We'll also see in episode 6, it's an excuse for them to get back in space and learn about the invasive alien species who will probably conquer Earth. I digress. This is all happening over and over again. I'm not sure why they continue on leading us down this path, but for some reason they think it's needed, but I think it's just going to be a scapegoat. We finally get to see Rex Explosive, Kate, and Che make one of the greatest sacrifices. Now, as y'all saw in the first half and in season 1, I am not a Rex Blown fan, but he earned his stripes in this episode and so far in this season, part 2. So in this part 2, the 2 episodes, they're all over the place. Back to back, they're coming in hot as hell with their pedal to the metal. We see the growth of Oliver. We have Mark and Adam Eve returning to the Guardians and their crew, and it gets lit. These 2 are essentially the point guards, and they have a real issue. They have to rescue the real astronaut and not the alien. We also get to see what the actual hell's going on with the CIA boy, aka Donald. So let's get back to it. This is what we needed. This is what's going to save this animated series or anime or whatever you want to call it. This show is emptying everything out in these first 2 episodes of part 2. They knew part 1 was ass, and they made sure to grab our attention in episode 5 and 6, and they did. I love it. They had to do this. Thank you for listening to your damn fans, Amazon. Anyways, it's a bit overkill. I know it's a little redundant, but hey, that's what we need. Let me blow your mind real fast. We got Megamind Jr. over here. The twins, who are 2 of my favorite, as you know, possibly immortal with his sensitive ass, and of course, the Viltrumites. We have a lot going on. But let's go deeper. We don't have any leads on them besides the Viltrumites. It's asking a lot of the Guardians of the Globe, especially Martin Grayson. The constant battle in his mind with his girlfriend and his dad is truly messing him up. On the outside looking in, we can tell that's obviously a choice, but he just can't see it. I think having Amber around, I think having her is going to truly keep him grounded. Without her, he is tempted to go off the rails and turn into a straight Viltrumite, just like that. Speaking of, we get a weird, humane side again of Omni-Man. He is eerily specific to Mark about some random comic books that come up. He tells Debbie, and Debbie tells Mark. He finds them, but there is a little bit something deeper in here. Honestly, it may be the path to victory. Yep, that's where we're at. At the end of episode 6, with all the fights, all the chaos, and all the mystery, pure action is what we're left with. On top of that, a handful of questions. Question 1. When Mark gets these comics, will it be enough to show him how to kill the Viltrumites? Question 2. Where is this big Megamind head-ass motherfucker at? Question 3. What are we going to do with Donald? Because we found out, spoiler alert, Donald is on some straight T-1000 action. He is an exoskeleton with a skin over top of it. Essentially, he is an AI. All of this is happening back to back to back. All of this is happening inside of Mark's world. Also, the Viltrumites aren't playing around. Since they made Mark the ruler, the leader of Earth, if he doesn't start killing handfuls, they're going to come through and kill everybody. So, with all of disarray, the confusion and pandemonium, will Mark be able to handle it? I don't think so. I think he's going to have a breaking point. I don't know if the comic books are the answer, but it has to be. I think it's going to come down to the big 3. Mark, Omni-Man, and Oliver. I think with Oliver aging so fast and with that Viltrumite blood in him, I think those 3, it's the only way they're going to be able to save Earth. Now, people aren't going to like this, but it's the only way. There are too many things in hand, and Mark can't do it. They have to have a big 3. I don't know how or when it's going to happen, but it's the only thing that's going to happen. And with how crazy this has been, anything is possible. With Oliver aging quickly, Mark at the precipice of blowing a fuse, and having Omni-Man with his 2 sons, come on now. That is going to make for a great part 2. And that is the review. Thank you, Amazon, for listening to the fans. We're finally back at it. Can't wait for next episode to drop. Episode 3 has to keep bringing that heat. We got to make Invincible. We got to make it relevant again. And we also got to free Omni-Man. So that's the review. Be looking out for these week to week. We're coming back at it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're knocking on 200 subs. You know what to do. Tell me what you think about the first few episodes of part 2 of Invincible. Until next time, we out.